You alluded to it. The game means nothing for Houston because they're locked into the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. The Lakers, they're in that tight battle. Currently, they're the number 3 seed in the West. They do control their own destiny, so they can take care of business. They don't have to worry about what anybody else has to do because they are the front runner for the number 3 seed. You look at this Houston team, and, it was a fun night on Wednesday night. I had the Clippers. We got down early in the day. We got a great number on the Clippers, and then we just continued to watch that line go. I wish as fast as my stock would go up. The line just kept going, and it still wasn't enough. Play anybody tonight? That's, again, one of those game time decisions. But even if they don't, they played the backups exclusively on Wednesday. So you've got to figure those guys are going to be better tonight because they finally got some action on Wednesday. They also got to hang out in L.A. for 2 days. They didn't have to move. They played the Clippers. And then throw in not only the horrible schedule that the Lakers had, that was a pretty meaningful game for more reasons than one the other night on Wednesday. It was the return to Dallas for Luka. And you can't tell me he wasn't sky high for that game. Look at the numbers he put up. The Lakers made sure to feed him the basketball. So that had to make Luka feel all warm and fuzzy, the love he got from the fans, and the fact that he got to stick it to management with a big game. Yeah, the Lakers are going to win tonight. But this line is just too high, in my opinion. You're paying a tariff for the name the Lakers. You're paying a tariff for the must-win factor for the Lakers. Houston's going to be there. They're going to play well. I think this is a game where the Lakers win. And you know what? Once they get the win, this isn't like, college basketball or whatever, or polls where you're looking for style points. All you got to do is win, get in, and get out. Give me Houston plus the inflated number tonight is the only way I can play this game.
Love it, Marco D'Angelo breaking down the Rockets and Lakers. If everyone could please stop what you're doing and hit the like button. That's all we ask. Just hit the like button. Marco, we're almost there. We're creeping up on 200,000 subscribers. I was hoping we were going to get there by this weekend. We need a big push. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, help us out. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could be the 200,000th subscriber? How about that? How fun would that be? So, Marco, listen, it's pretty hard to beat perfect. You have a 5% NBA best bet. I don't know how much more promotion I can do. What are you, 10-0 on these major wager plays? Tell us about that.
Yeah, Andy, you know that my style, I don't release a lot of plays. If you're an action junkie, I'm not the handicapper for you. Generally, we're going to have 2 to 4 plays per day. And when it comes to big plays, those are even more rare. Yeah, I'm 10-0 on NBA 5% major wager plays. That goes back to March 31st of 2021. I've only had 10 of them over 4+ seasons, but we've won every single one of them. I have one of those tonight. I love the situation that we got. I've got angles to back it. I've got situational stuff. It's in every perfect storm. So I am stepping out with a 5% major wager tonight. If you want to join me in the NBA, for me, has been fantastic. We are WagerTalk's #1 NBA handicapper in Money One. We've made our clients over 180 units over the last 4+ seasons. And like I said, those 5% is a perfect 10-0. Let's get number 11 tonight. Head over. You can pick it up for $35. But you know what? Why buy the one play for $35? $4 more. You can get a 1-day all access pass and pick up all of my plays for $39. That's the best way to go. Or, buy a long-term package, all access. The bigger the package, the more you save. You know how that works at WagerTalk. And we're heading into my favorite time of the season, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. Why is that the favorite time of the year? Well, you know what? Everybody's going to play every night. That's the fun part of the playoffs. You don't have to guess who's going to be in the lineup. I never have to hear my 2 least favorite words, load management.
You're the one I'm chasing in NBA. I've been number 2 and number 3 the entire season, and I could never get to that number spot. So it's you. I don't know why I didn't ask. For this entire season who I was chasing. Congratulations to you, though. Marco, let's talk a little bit with the Cavs and the Knicks. Obviously, this is probably not a game we're going to make a big wager on, but just talk us through this game here a little bit. 2 big-name teams.
Well, obviously, Cleveland, they locked down the number one seed in the Eastern Conference the other night. So they've got nothing to play for. And they rested players when they played last night. And both teams played last night. Both teams, New York got the win or last night. Oh, excuse me. They lost in Detroit, mixing up the two teams who they were playing. But New York does have something to play for. They can lock down the 3 seed. They're most likely going to be the 3 seed, but a win tonight clinches that for them. It is their last game at home. And I think this is one of those games where it's also a little bit of, you want to give yourself a little bit of confidence going into the playoffs, because even though they are the number 3 seed this year, Andy, they haven't fared well when they've stepped up in class, and they're 0-3 against the Cavs. So if you want to say a little bit of a statement game, okay. But again, because of the situation in the Cavs, openly saying, resting players and so forth, you're paying a tariff if you want to play the Knicks. So how do we go about this game? Well, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to look at a total, and I'm going to look at the total for the first half. And if I keep saying Indiana in this one. Cleveland played the other team last night. But the Knicks, if they come out smoking and have a little bit of intensity because they want to prove a point, that's going to be from the onset. And if you're going to actually try in the NBA, where you try and where the effort comes from is on the defensive side of the court. So what I'm looking at is a first half under in this game. We know that, NBA totals have been inflated all year simply because nobody wants to play defense, and these teams have been scoring ridiculous numbers. But I think this is one where, because of the players that are going to be on the court, when they're going to be on the court, if Cleveland does play starters, anybody of significance in this game, you'll see them in the first half, and then you won't see them. So I'm going to look for a first half under. In theory, this is a great play for what I'm thinking, but I also got data to support it. The Knicks, as I said, they're 0-3 against Cleveland. Well, the Knicks, when they've played at home this season in a revenge situation, 15 times it's happened. They're 13 out of 15 games in the first half they've gone under the total. When the Knicks have played a step-up game, a team with a winning record, first half totals, unders, 15 of 20 times. So with my theory of how I think this game's going to play out, the data to back it with the trends for this season, only one way to go, and we're looking at 111 for that first half total. Let's go under Cleveland in New York. And then you know what? I don't care who sits in the second half.